Alrighty, well. You guys have been waiting. I know you have. It's been a long time since we did a milestone video. It's a little later. Actually, I think this is one of the earliest milestone videos that I've come out with, and like since like I've started the milestone series. Yeah, it's like within the week of like the season coming out. I grinded like crazy. As you can see, there's a lot of milestones that we've already done and finished. There's a few left that I still haven't done, but I can finish the season. But we're gonna go through them. I categorized them the same time as last time. If you haven't checked out like the old milestone videos, there's some methods that work and there's some methods that I dive deeper into, so you can have a little more understanding. If you guys do want to watch that, you can. Otherwise, let's jump into it. So there's 19 total milestones currently right now. Each stage gets 6,000 XP, and then each milestone quest stage gives 20,000 XP. So you can do the math there. Each milestone is about 2 levels. It's not a lot of XP. A lot of people say that milestones aren't worth doing, but those type of people, those people don't understand that you can do these milestones while just playing the game casually or grinding the way that other people grind. I did this while getting tons of XP and tons of chests, tons a lot of stuff. You know, it's kind of like a grind for me, a lot more harder for me because I grind it out right away. But for you casual players, you guys can take these methods that I've figured out and other people have helped me with, and you can take them and just play them casually and finish these milestones throughout the season. But let's jump into it. Let's get into it. So like I said, we categorized them. We're gonna start off with the healing kind of aspect. So the first one milestone we're going to be talking about is gain shields. So gaining shields is a little bit harder because this milestone requires you to get rid of your shields and then reapply it. It's a little bit harder because it's harder to, get that shield back, and you only get 100 shields. So, and there's only a few ways you can take shield damage. So the ways that you can get shield, of course, are from mushrooms, the llamas. You can get the slurp cannon from that, or Kyle. There is a location where you can just buy the slurp cannon from. And then minis and bigs, and there's probably like a few other ones like mushrooms and like little like slurp barrels that you can get from that. But the method that I used was going to Rave Cave. There's a lot of slurp barrels there, and what I did was basically I would put my shield on, and then I would try to look for grenades, or I would shoot at the NPC there in order to take damage, and then I would try to open the vaults in order to get more shield from them, because opening the vaults this season, or like I don't know if they're called vaults, but opening like the ones with the keys, the vaults, I guess, you would actually get a lot of shield back, and it was really helpful. Like you get a lot of shield. There's like bigs, minis, there's even splashes, there's even shield kegs that you can get. It's a lot of shield. I got them around 1,000, if not 1,500 on a good run per match. So you can finish this milestone in like 20 games just about. I would say like maybe even less if you do it, like if you grind it like really hard and you get this one right out of the way. But that's for gain shields. There's multiple ways to get rid of shield, by the way. There's grenades, and then there's also fireflies. So if you have fireflies, you can use it to take like 40 damage shield, and then you can do it that way. Otherwise, the only other ways is grenades and then getting shot by an NPC or another enemy player. Now, of course, this one you can do throughout the season, or you can even do it in Team Rumble. Those are kind of like overall, you can do it throughout the season. But yeah. First milestone done. Let's move on. So the next one is restore health. This one kind of just applies throughout every single season. I don't really have to go into detail because most of the things that I do for this stay the same throughout the season. So what I do is I get med kits, bandages, or even the slurp cannon. That works too. Or even med mist. Those are all like the heal items that you can use. Mostly, the most one that I use is med mist. This is like the best one you can get. You can land at Rave Cave and actually buy 4 med mist for 25 gold. It's really cheap. And you can get, or actually, I think it's 5, really. It's either 4 or 5. You can buy med mist from the NPC on the blimp. And what you do is just hug the storm, or you can just take fall damage and repeatedly just spray yourself. And you get around like 90 just about. There's like a way where you can take 99 damage exactly, but it's a little difficult. And I don't like doing that because sometimes it's a little hard. But you just hug the storm. It's the same method. Hug the storm, take some damage, and just use med mist, med kits. Always pick them up if you plan on doing this one. But that one's pretty self-explanatory. Or if you already know, watch the previous milestone videos, you can finish those pretty fast. Next up, we got catch items while fishing. This one's actually really different this season. Instead of catching fish, you actually just have to catch items. I recommend going to Loot Lake. There's a lot of harpoons, a lot of containers that you can get harpoons and fishing rods from, and it's super easy to, you know, just fish. It's only 400. I mean, I think they doubled it since it's fishing everything, or all the items. So it should be simple. This one took me a few games. It was one of the very first milestones that I finished. And the next up, the last one for the health kind of category, is pick fruit from reality saplings. Now, this one was a little hard. I couldn't really wrap my head around like a good way to farm this. Up until like towards the end, I figured out a way to kind of do it fast, but also kind of slow. There's two ways you can do it. You can go into solo squads and just go around the map and find the reality saplings and then just pick them. This one's good. You can probably get like 10 to 20 if you're really lucky. And then the way that I started doing it towards the end is actually I went into bot lobbies. I had 3 friends put their reality saplings right next to mine, and I just farmed them. I went in a game, out a game, in a game, out, just in and out, doing the same thing. I got 5 each game. It took me a little bit. I had to do like 100 total, so it took me like 20-ish games, which wasn't too bad, but I mean, it is kind of annoying. But if you want to finish this one really fast, you can just do it that way, or you can just pick reality saplings throughout the season. And sadly, this one does not work in Team Rumble, so it's kind of annoying. Anyways, let's move on to the next category, which is damaging anything or just damage stuff. We have damage opponents, which is 90,000 damage. I don't know why it's 90,000. Usually it's 100,000. I guess they thought maybe a lot of people didn't do 100,000 damage per season, so they dropped it a little bit. Maybe it's because it's a shorter season too. But my method of doing this is just killing people. You can also do 1,200 damage to Harold's boss, which is a decent amount of damage. She has like 600 health, I believe, 600 shield and like 600 white health. And then NPCs and animals aren't consistent. Sometimes they do count, like doing damage to a shark sometimes count as damage, sometimes it doesn't. Boars and animals don't count, sadly. I don't understand why, you know, sometimes some work and sometimes don't. I honestly can't tell you, but the best way to do this one is just farming regular kills and then using the Harold's boss for the damage. And you know, there's other things you can do, which we'll get into in a few minutes, while doing the Harold boss damage. And then you can also do this one in Team Rumble, of course. But anyways, moving on, we got eliminate opponents up next. This one's simple, just kill enemies. Team Rumble is actually a lot better for this one because there's enemies that respawn. It's quick, easy. You can get the kill super fast. But if you want to do it outside of Team Rumble, it's a lot better because you can do challenges while eliminating opponents. Like I did this one while doing every other milestone, and I finished pretty much all the milestones just about. So I recommend not doing it in Team Rumble. The only one that I would recommend is doing med mist and healing. That's about it. Maybe even shields, because those are a little bit annoying. But otherwise, I usually just do bot lobbies or, you know, regular lobbies sometimes. And then moving on, we have headshot opponents. This one is just kill people. Same thing, kill enemies. Try to get those headshots. Whenever you knock someone, always make sure that you shoot them in the head, so it counts towards headshots. A lot of people just shoot them and fold them. Just shoot them in the head. You kind of build a habit once you do it a little bit. I even do it now, and I don't even need headshots, so it's kind of funny. But you know, that one's pretty explanatory. And then NPCs, once again, sometimes it's not like consistent. Sometimes you do get headshots, sometimes you don't. I don't know why the game doesn't register it always, but I mean, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I know Harold's boss does count, and sadly enough, they did patch the glitch where you can just shoot an animal. If you guys were hoping that would work this season, it doesn't. I've tried it. You know, they patched it. I'm not surprised though, but you know. And then Team Rumble worked, of course, you know, on this one. Headshot opponents 800 in total, so yeah. And then next up, we have evolve EvoChrome weapons by dealing damage. You have to evolve 200, which this one might seem a lot hard, or like a lot harder than you think. But surprisingly enough, this one's really easy. So what I used was the method of basically farming at the new spot. You can land at Harold's Sanctum, and basically you would farm the weapons by getting the chrome chest and getting the EvoChrome weapons, and you just fill your entire like inventory with them. And then basically you get as many chrome weapons as possible, and then you use them on the boss. So chrome animals actually do a lot more like charge for some reason towards your chrome weapons. So basically, if you do more damage to chrome animals, they charge faster and they evolve faster. So I recommend going to Herald's Boss, farm those animals, and then just level up those weapons as fast as possible. And once they get to like purple, I recommend dropping them off because they're just not really worth doing that much amount of damage, because you have to do a lot more from epic to legendary, and then legendary to mythic is like literally a lot of damage, so you should not do that. I recommend from uncommon to about epic. That's where I would stop and just drop and get more uncommons. Otherwise, another method is doing Chrome Slash on animals. You can farm that way too. You can just shoot some trees or chrome trees, and you can just get more chrome and throw it on animals. So you can farm it that way. And then of course you can do it in Team Rumble. But Team Rumble, you can't really go back and get more guns. So I mean, that one's up to you. And then the another tip, chrome splashes on chests actually give chrome weapons. So if you have chrome splashes, throw it on a chest and it gives you a chrome weapon. It's not guaranteed. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, but usually it does. Usually get like 1 or 2 chrome weapons, which is really good. So that's a tip for that. Anyways, that is it all for the damage stuff and all the eliminate stuff. Moving on, the next one up is hit weak points with a harvesting tool. Now, I had a method last season. If you guys didn't know, I would go to Rave Cave and basically hit the containers, hit all the metal. But Awalry actually gave me an idea, and she suggested going to the red bridge right next to Shifty Shafts and just whacking it. And surprisingly enough, you get a lot. And when I say a lot, I finished this in like 3 games. It took me like three games just about to finish this milestone, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is definitely one that people are going to want to know. You need 2,500 weak points, and going to the red bridge actually is really good. You just destroy the red bridge, hit the weak points, and about maybe max 5 games you could probably finish it. And then of course you can also go to Rave Cave, do the season method. You can watch the video if you want to know how to do that one. But you just hit the containers and hit a lot of stuff. And then actually it counts on your own builds too. So if you build anything, it counts for your own builds. This was not a thing last season, so I assume they did it this season because it's a shorter season. And of course you know, there's a lot more builds that you're building because there's no like armored walls or anything like that. But yeah, but the fastest way is red bridge next to Shifty, of course. But that's like its own category. Otherwise, moving on, place top 10 and Outlast opponents. These are kind of like coincide together. These challenges are something that you have to do throughout the season. There's no way you can instantly do top 10 or Outlast mini opponents, but there are like kind of ways that you can just do them really fast. Top 10, you can play the game normally, or you can do solo squads. It's the fastest. Solo squads usually get top 10 in like within like a few minutes, and then you can just go in and out, and then finish top 10. You need 300 total. I usually don't finish this one. I didn't finish it last season, but I'm probably going to finish it this season. I'm already at 101, as you can see right here. But anyways, the next one is Outlast opponents. This one's the same thing. Play the game, or solo squads is the fastest because a lot more enemies get eliminated super fast, or you can just do basic solos. Otherwise, this one's kind of, you know, not a fast one. And then you have to outlast 15,000 opponents. Otherwise, moving on, next category is basically gold. This is like the gold category. We have purchase items from a character or a vending machine. So my fastest way that I usually do every season is buying ammo from vending machines. Shotgun shells are actually the cheapest. There are 4 gold per one, so you get a total of 20. So that's only 80 gold for 20, and you have to purchase 100 things. Or actually, I don't think it's 100. I'm pretty sure it's. It might be 100. I think I wrote 100, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be higher than that. I could be wrong. I think it's higher than that. I don't know how I wrote 100, but it might be higher than that. And then of course, the way to get gold, you can get it from bounties or vaults or safes. The safes spawn spawn almost guaranteed now. And then there's like at least a safe in a vault every single time. So you can get a lot of gold from that. And then rare chests have a higher spawn rate this season, which give a lot of gold. And I'm not going to complain about rare chests because they spawned like nothing last season. You had to do solid gold for that. And then spin bars, you have to spend 20,000 bars total. Vending machines and ammo are the best for spinning gold. They're the cheapest, but you can get the best because you can get purchase items from vending machines a lot faster. And then getting gold, of course, is gold from bounties if you need gold, or of course vaults and safes, the same thing as purchasing items. So if you need those gold. But I finished 20,000. It was pretty easy. I mean, you hold 5,000 gold. If you do the once we talk about the next thing, if you do this route that I'm going to show, you actually get a lot of gold, and I'm already maxed out on gold because of how much I did it. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for the gold category. Let's move on to searching chests or ammo boxes. So I recommend going to any POI that you enjoy or you like and just opening as many chests or loot boxes or ammo boxes as possible. But the best route is the Rave Cave route. If you guys wanted more in detail video or like a exact route on how I did this, just let me know down in the comments, because I'm willing to do it. Because it is kind of hard to wrap your head around, especially in a kind of like short form of milestone video, but I will do a separate route if you guys want to. But I did the Rave Cave route. So basically, I went into Rave Cave, I landed top, I went through the blimp, cleared that all out, I went down to the bottom, and then I went into the cave, and you get around 100 chests if you're really lucky. The minimum you can get is 50. So 50, you need to open around 1500, or it is 1500. So 50 per game would take you, a little bit, but if you get 100, it's a lot faster. That will take you like 15 games, but around 20 games it took me to finish this total, if that, probably less. But of course, make sure you just open chests. In Team Rebel, it's 100% spawn rate, but a lot of people are doing the loot station loadout, or the loot station like route. So I mean, it's really up to you if you want to do that. A lot of people are going into Team Rumble and doing that. And then moving on, we have the travel stuff. Travel distance as a Chrome Blob. There's actually a method that AWOL came up with, so shout out to her. I'll put her link down, or Twitch link down below, and her YouTube, of course, if you want to go check her out. But anyways, what she came up with, actually, the D-pads at the Shimmering Shrine actually kind of collide. They kind of intercept almost. They go at the same location. So basically what you do is you turn yourself into a Chrome Blob by shooting trees. You get like the Chrome effect, the Chrome like splashes. Turn yourself into a blob. And here's a tip that I found out. You can throw the Chrome splash onto the D-pad, and it actually keeps you as a Chrome Blob as you keep hitting it over and over. So 150 meters per going there and back between the two. As you can see it going up, or you can see me going back and forth. You guys, 150 meters per takes you a little while. It's 100,000 total, but if you do this just, for like 20 games, you could finish it super fast. This one's not a necessary one that you have to do, but if you really want to finish it, the fastest way is doing the D-pad back and forth. And then of course, if the circles are not in, or if the circle's not in, or the D-pad's not in the circle, just use the blob whenever you can. Just throw the blob on yourself and just go around as a blob. Dash with it. It gives you a little more distance. And yeah. And then of course, you can also do this on top of a car. And I'm going to get into the next one, travel on a boar or wolf. This is the next one, and this is the same thing. You can travel on top of a car, and it's a lot faster because cars are faster than boars or wolves. And the blob is about the same speed as a car, but if you're using whiplash, you can go a lot faster. But anyways, moving on. Travel on a boar or wolf. This one's like that. Like I said, you can do it on top of a car. It's the fastest way. You avoid stamina, and you don't run out of it. You usually have to have a friend for this, but otherwise, the other only way you can do this is actually just running around with a boar or wolf. I recommend holding meat in your inventory if you're doing that, or mushrooms, something to keep the wolf or the stamina up. So yeah. And then if you guys want a separate video on like how to grind that, I could do that too. This one's not really something that's like too crazy, but if you guys want to see how I grind it out, I can definitely do that. I'm actually working on it right now. As you can see, I'm only at 15,000, but I haven't been riding a boar. I've did like 10,000 last few games. So otherwise, next up we have complete bounties. I don't know why this is in the category for this. It should have been up with the gold ones, but complete bounties, there's always a route that you should know. Always know where the bounty boards are. They're usually marked on the map. You can see them when you're near one. But I recommend knowing a like certain route. AWOL literally is like the best at doing bounties. When I was playing with her, she literally made sure she always had a bounty, and she would always make sure she eliminated the enemy, and we would always get it. You only need 100, so 100's not that much. If you do like 5 bounties a game, it'll take you like 20 games, 25 games. If you're lucky, you can get more than 5. So yeah. But I'll show a little like route that you can do. The bounty boards are kind of like in like a line. It kind of goes back to the middle. So you start on the outer side. There's a route that I did. You start on the outer side, the top next to Kyle, and you kind of make your way in towards shifty shafts. And then if you're lucky, wherever the circle is, you can get like 1 or 2 more, depending on if it's next to Coney or Tilted, or even if the map goes down, there's even like more bounty boards towards the bottom. But of course, this one is kind of just do it as you go. If you make sure you know where all the bounty boards are, you kind of finish it super fast. Anyways, the last two, this is a separate category because Reboot squadmates, this one hasn't changed. I use the same method every single season, unless if, of course, they map changes or they change something about how I do this. What I do is I go to the 7 outposts on top of the snow mountain, and I have a friend eliminate themselves on top of the fire post. and then after they eliminate themselves, they just take damage. I get the reboot card, and then another friend and we reboot them. My friends swap back and forth because they wanted to do the reboot milestone together too. So as I finish this one, they would swap back and forth. In total, you can do this in regular lobbies, and it's a lot faster. You can do 3 people reboot really fast. But I recommend doing bot lobbies. You don't have to worry about anyone. The bots don't land up there, and sometimes you get circle. I get around 5 to 10 with circle being in with the reboot, 5 if the circle's like half across the map. Usually I get a little bit luckier and I can do it in circle with different reboots, but this is like the best one to do. There's also another location where campfire exists, but of course you need wood for that, which I usually don't enjoy using. So but otherwise you can get actually a decent amount. If you do it really well, you can get around 20. I think the max we got was like 19, I believe. You could do 20 if you get really lucky, but like you can finish this in a few games. I think we finished it in like 6-7 games, so which is pretty nice. And then finally, the last milestone, which if you're still here, you guys, I appreciate you. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Like the video, of course, and turn on notifications for any further videos. I'll be covering every other challenge, stuff like that. That's coming up. Otherwise, the last and final milestone of the season, of course, is thank the bus driver. Make sure you always do this. You're going to be playing a ton of Fortnite. If you're watching this video, you're going to be going into games, out of games instantly, and, you know, doing a lot of stuff. Just make sure you always thank the bus driver. You only need 200 games isn't that much. Of course, if you do 200 games total, you're going to probably finish all the milestones just about. I've only played 101 games and I finished 326 milestones so far. I'll probably get to 150 before I finished all of them. And then I, of course, have to place top 10 300 times, which is a pain. But if I finish that, which I probably will, that one, I'll be done with almost every milestone. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Like I said earlier, I really do appreciate it. And if you guys don't use anyone's creator code, or if you do want to support me in a more of a way, make sure you use code Mattio right above me, Mattio. I'd appreciate it. Once again, I really enjoy doing these milestone videos. I know this video is a little bit longer than usual, but I want to make sure you guys finish the battle pass. Make sure you get as many levels as possible. Once again, if you guys haven't already, like the video, I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, if you're still here, I appreciate you. And everyone have an amazing day, and I will see you guys in the next one.